everybody, and welcome to the opening day of competition here at the Warwick IBSA Judo Grand Prix.
On mat 2 in the men's under 73 kilos. In the blue judo league, representing Lithuania, Preliminaries. And in the white judo league, representing France, Joseph and coming on to mat 1 in the men's under 73 kilos. In the blue judo league, representing Kazakhstan, and in the white judo league, representing France,
So good morning everybody, and welcome to the opening day of the competition here at the Warwick IBSA Judo Grand Prix. I'm really pleased that I'm sitting next to IGF World Tour athlete Stuart McWatt, who will do the commentary with me today. We will be your host for the coming 2 days, and it's a big pleasure to be back and take a look at what will be a great competition. As you might know, it's the final Grand Prix to earn important points for the Paralympic ranking list. First one was held just a few weeks ago in Baku in Azerbaijan after a long forced break, and this really is the final test before the Paralympic Games later this year. We have 6 weight categories to bring to you today. It will be the 48, 52 and 57 for the women, and the 60, 66 and 73 for the men. For sure, we will talk about it a lot more about the athletes that will be here today, but let's see what you think about it.
Oh, definitely. It's a pleasure to be here commentating at this competition. I think we've got some great judo ahead of us over the weekend, and we're starting first on mat 2. We've got Yusuf Elhirich from France fighting the Lithuanian Osvaldas Berikas.
Yeah, and for sure you will be able to tell some more about the British squad, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. We've got a lot of athletes from Britain fighting tomorrow. None today, but it's still going to be a good weekend, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. It's a bit sad though that there's quite some nations that couldn't attend this weekend. So we have a little bit less competitors than we would normally expect, but still I think we have a lot of quality in there.
Definitely. It's been difficult with the COVID pandemic and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's great that we've got some competitions again leading up into the Paralympics time, in a few months' time. So.
Let me check one thing, before we come back. Let's see if we can turn it off. So let's see what happens in this contest. I think Bareikis is one of the experienced athletes, some quite a few times. And have you watched a lot of VI Judo? Ooh, that was a really nice throw from Bareikis. It's enough already for Nippon.
Yeah, I think obviously we train with the VIs in our base here in Walsall. And there is a big difference between VI Judo and Olympic Judo.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, the sight, they're visually impaired, so they start on the grip.
Yeah.
And it can be a lot more tactical, I think. You're close to your opponent, you need to be really strong in the grips. And yeah, it's definitely different.
Yeah, it is different, but I like to see that actually it's coming quite close. In the end, it's judo. You need to throw your opponent on your back. But here you can see a lot of nice action because you don't have the long kumikata fight going on, which can be, for me, it's really interesting to watch because I was a judoka. For you, for sure, it's also interesting to watch. But for some spectators, it can be a little bit boring sometimes, or it's just because it's very tactical, and here you don't have that.
It's a bit more straight into the action.
Yeah. So we will be commentating on mat number 2, I think, for now, for this day. And if you want to watch some other mats, you can also click on the other mats. There won't be any commentary, but you still can get to see all the athletes.
Yeah, definitely. On mat 1 we've got some 73s on just now.
Yeah.
Bachkuki Sheila from Georgia and Mama Turbak Surinov from Kyrgyzstan. That's on mat 1. And on mat 3 we've got some 66 kilos. Luis Perez Diaz from Puerto Rico and Asman Turmabetov from Kazakhstan. So if you guys want to watch some of the other mats, just click one of the links.
So you're doing that quite fluently, you know that? Really nice. It can be quite a struggle sometimes with the names.
I think so.
We have
Definitely
some really good names in there.
in the UK where we used to so a bit simpler names.
Yeah, we always try to do our best to say the names as well as we can. So on mat number 2 now we have Rufat Mahomedov of Ukraine. He's in a white judo gi and he's facing Gibrilo Iafa of Portugal in blue. So for the ones that don't know, we have some different classifications. So we have the B1, P2 and B3. And B1 is the one that the athletes that are having the left side, how you say that? Yeah. So they can be, or they can see really limitedly, or they are completely blind. You can tell here by that Jaffa is a B1 athlete. So the referee will guide him back to his spot. So I think because there's some of the top athletes missing, sometimes they had to stay at home because of the pandemic, and for some they were just taking a rest and decided to prepare for Tokyo. And it gives some really good opportunity for the athletes here, I guess.
Definitely, some that maybe wouldn't get a chance at some of these events.
Yeah.
Flying out and getting a chance to fight. But a nice Sodi attempt there from Mahomedov.
Yeah, he's a really good athlete. I think he has a lot of potential to pick up some good medals. But the 73 in the end is a really strong category, as it is in IGF Judo as well. But yeah, I think it gives some opportunity to get some really important points, and it can mean the qualification for Tokyo. You know, it's still it's the last event, and it's for me it could be really stressful for some of the athletes.
I think so. There's a lot of points up for grabs.
Yeah.
For those last few spots.
So some gripping going on. Of course, you can only you really have to hold on with 2 hands. You can change the grip if you want to, but you have to do that really quickly. Otherwise, you will get a Shido. So it's a little bit different. There are some different rules than in IGF Judo, but I think when they start, it's quite the same.
Yeah.
Nice Uchimata attempt.
The Ukrainian's definitely leading this fight, I think.
Yeah.
The attack rate's been really good the last few exchanges.
He is, but the thing is, actually, especially with the B1 athletes, they have such a good reaction. So because they have to feel the reaction. So you always have to watch out and be really careful of not being taken over.
Nice Tom Nagy attempt there by Jaffa. Just lost the grip a little bit at the end.
Yeah, so although Mahomedov is leading the fight, it's still no scores on the board, so I really think it can go either direction. Jaffa just the 1 Shido on the board. And do you also train with the VI athletes?
Yeah, so at the centre, the VIs, they train just as normal with us on the programme day to day. The strength training, the judo training.
Great, yeah.
And it's good. They normally practice with us off the grip, but obviously on the lead up to this event, to the Paralympics, we've been doing a lot of fighting with them on the grip to replicate competitions. So.
Yeah, that's great. I think that's so important because I know in some of the countries they have it separated. Well, I really think it's a big benefit that it's just together with the IGF like judo, with the Olympic judo.
Definitely, I think a lot of countries are moving towards to where both programs train together.
Yeah.
Like Georgia, Korea.
Yeah, exactly.
You always see the visually impaired athletes on the mat with the Olympic team as well. So.
Yeah, you really see that back in the results actually. So you have Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, Georgia, Great Britain is really good. And I'm just hoping that they will do that with all
big ol' Sotogari there.
Yeah. Oh, that's going to be it probably.
Straight into the hold down.
Doesn't look like Jaffa's really trying to get out there.
I think he thought it was up on, to be honest. For those maybe watching that haven't seen judo before and don't know the scores, there's also Wazari if they land on their side, and 2 Wazaris gets the ippon and ippon if they land flat in the back. So there are multiple ways to win, as well as tapping your opponent out with an arm lock or strangle, or holding them down for 20 seconds.
Yeah, for sure we will talk some more about the rules during the day, and also the slight change, like the differences between IGF and IBSA judo. But the main thing you need to know is that it's a Wazari or an ippon, basically. Get your opponent on the back. And also you can of course win by penalties, but it's not preferred. So if you get 3 shidos, 3 yellow cards on the board, then it will also mean a loss for you. And the rest is basically that's it, right? It's a lot easier than a couple of years ago, where you had the Koka, Yuko. Were you competing then already with the Koka?
I never competed with the Koka.
I feel old now. So this should be a really good, interesting contest between Rodolfo Ramirez of Argentina in white judogi and Georgi Kaldani of Georgia. And Kaldani is the winner of the last Grand Prix. He's doing really well in the last few years actually already, but he missed out on quite some on some wins. But last competition he did really well.
I think he's relatively new to the scene. We've not seen him too much over the last few years. But there's been a real push of athletes coming from Georgia lately.
Yeah.
Also, you've got Gogachuri under 100 kilos who isn't here.
Yeah, he's really the starter of Paralympic judo almost.
Who isn't here this weekend, but...
Ooh, that was a really beautiful... nice barai from Kaldani. That was a quick finish.
Very nice foot sweep there.
So good start for Kaldani. And I'm really surprised that he's not one of the top seeds here. So it's mainly because he only had the 1 good result. And you also have Bachuki Shaley of Georgia in there. He is seeded, so I'm not sure what they're going to do with the Paralympics, who will go.
It might come down to this weekend, to be honest.
Yeah, I think so.
We could see them 2 in the final if it keeps going like this.
Yeah, that would be interesting. But for me, it's Shelia that has a tougher draw because it's Firouz Saidov. He's the current world champion that's in there. So that will be a really tough contest. Yeah, and Uzbekistan brought a small team, but they did bring some people. And they always have good athletes.
Definitely, it is a great tournament. A lot of countries. Spain, Brazil, Belarus, Germany, Portugal, some South American countries as well.
Yeah, I'm not sure, like we can check how many countries in the end are here.
So we're moving on mat 2 now. We've got first and the 52 kilos. Lins dos Santos from Brazil in the white, and after that Nikolic from Ukraine in blue.
Yeah, and you have some really good athletes here in the 52 today. We have Priscilla Gagne of Canada. She's the number 1 seed. She's the bronze medalist of the last World Championships. And then we have Sevin Salaeva, who's doing really well in the Grand Prix in the last few years. She is a silver medalist of the last Grand Prix. So that's already 2 top seeds. And we also have Ramona Brusik, that was the silver medalist of the last World Championships. She was not in the best form, I would say, in the last competition, but I'm curious to see her here. And it's also nice to see Brazil here, because actually it was not possible for Brazil. If you're coming from Brazil, it was not possible to go to the AK, I think, during these times. But they stayed, after the Grand Prix in Baku, they stayed in Azerbaijan. So in that case, they could come.
It's just it's something that a lot of countries are doing now when they're going to an event. They quite often go for a training camp beforehand, get some good training in. Then that allows them to enter certain countries that they necessarily won't be allowed to go into beforehand.
Yeah, but it is really challenging, and in these times, I guess, just to stay there, you have to stay in a bubble all the time. It's just not so easy.
So here, both athletes are right-handed.
Yeah.
Moving around, just kicking the feet so far, trying to get some reactions.
Ooh, that was a really nice move.
Very close to the score there.
Yeah, in the 52, there already we have the Ukrainian Ina Cherniak, or I think she's married now, so she has a different last name, but she's absolutely the top favorite. But it's nice to see another Ukrainian, Nikolajczyk, competing here. Maybe she wants to follow up on Cherniak after the Paralympics.
I think Dos Santos is always looking for the knee waza here.
Yeah.
Always going for the Sangaku.
And you see a lot of a good newaza for the VI athletes.
Up onto the juju.
Yeah. She's really trying there.
Oh. Very close. As we spoke about earlier, when we're starting on the grip, there isn't that 10-20 seconds of grip fighting before we get into the contest. So you'll see quite a lot of the attacks as soon as Hajime is called.
Yeah, and actually I was training also a little bit with some Paralympic athletes, and it's so different because you really have to trust on your like feeling for judo, you know? You cannot just keep them away with your gripping. It's completely different.
Especially when you get a score up, or in the sort of the IGF Tour and Olympic Judo, you can run away a little bit, keep the score.
Yeah, especially if you're ahead, it can be really threatening if you have to take the grip already. So actually, it's Dos Santos who's a little bit taller. She can make good use of her legs. So she is trying with some ashiwaza. It's not succeeding yet. I think these are quite evenly matched. It's just Dos Santos again in newaza trying to work on a shimewaza here.
It was close. I think it was just over the chin a little bit there.
Yeah, I think so too.
Currently we've got, there's on mat 3, under 48s is now on. You want to go over there, there's Kokila from India and Carmen Brusig from Germany. And mat 1, the 73s is about to come back on as well. So if you want to check some of those out too.
Yeah, it's nice that you can watch whoever is fighting actually. And we just focus on mat number 2. We'll take a quick looks at mat number 1 and mat number 3 to see what's going on there as well. And I'm curious to see also Sandra Alrieres Martinez. She's the Paralympic champion. And we haven't seen her for quite a while. She was not attending Baku. And the last competition before that was really more than a year ago. So I think she just wants to have one more go before she goes to the Paralympic Games. And there's not too many competitors here, so she's already in the semi-final. We'll only see her one time later this morning. But for me, it's interesting to see how in what shape she is.
It's difficult for a lot of these athletes. It's been a year and a half, almost 2 years before they fought in a competition environment.
Yeah.
And it's getting used to the kick control again, and the weigh-in, and your recovery throughout the day when you're fighting.
Yeah, exactly. You cannot really prepare for that. You know, you really have to experience that, and it's a big shame that we couldn't have any competitions for more than a year. But I think it's great that we're back now, actually, and the organization has been really great here and also in Baku, and it's really professional, so it's really nice to see. And they just need that feeling, I think, before. If you didn't fight for 2 years before you go to a Paralympic Games, it's so hard, I guess, because there's going to be so much tension before that.
It's a pretty even fight here so far.
Yeah.
I think it seemed to be an exchange each, sort of, with the attacks. Dos Santos a little bit stronger on the ground.
Yeah, she is really strong in the ground, but Nikolajczyk, she's the one with with the more dangerous attacks in Tachiwaza. But still 1 minute and 34 seconds left on the clock, so still plenty of time to come up with a good score.
And if you're wondering what the referee's doing just now is making sure when they grip up, they both got, it's an even 50-50 grip. They can't have one person starting with a better grip than the opponent, so.
No, so the rules for that is actually pretty strict. Ooh, that was a really nice move. Not sure if that was a score though. She had her elbow out, still on the floor.
I might take a look at that on the replay.
So in any case, like there's one referee in the center and there's always two referees on the side that will check each score. And there is also the referee director that can do another check. So they will be taking their checks and making sure that it's a score or not. And I think in this case they decided that it's a score.
Yeah, I think she was just enough on her side with the arm tucked underneath for the foot sweep in order to give it a Rosario. So good score.
Oh,
never mind.
Gone. So.
And that's why we're up here in the commentary box and not refereeing.
Well, actually, like it's just sometimes hard to see, and especially if for the referee as well. Sometimes he can be in the. I think he was on the other side, so he could not really tell. And that's why I really like it that they have the video system, so that you can always do a double check and making sure that it's even.
Just gives you a few different angles on the mat that we don't necessarily see here on the stream.
So, but I think it shows a little bit that Nikolacic, she's the one that's more dangerous in Tachiwaza, and then you have Dos Santos, who's really working in Newaza.
Definitely, it was good defense there to get out of the Gigi. I thought for sure that was going to come out.
Yeah, so for the kumikata, there's really quite strict rules. So you have to have one hand on the lapel, the other one on the sleeve. And the other one needs to do the same. So there really is it's an even start. Of course, after that, straight away you can re-grip, basically.
Yeah, I think if you're trying to move your hand to get maybe up behind the neck or go to a double lapel sort of grip, once your hand's off, you've got a few seconds before you need to get it back on.
And as you can see here, sometimes it can take a little bit of time if the referee doesn't agree with it. And if it takes too much time, actually, you can get a Shido for that.
Yeah.
We see that happen sometimes. For me, it's always a little bit a silly Shido, you know, to get that.
It's the same as you see in sort of the IGF Tour where athletes get a Shido for not tidying the kit up between the contests.
You think why?
You don't want to give something away for a stupid mistake like that.
Nice Sutmi attack. I think she really attempted that to get into the Newaza, actually.
So 23 seconds left in this contest. It is even so far, no Shidos on the board, no scores on the board.
Ooh, that might change now. Ooh. I think they're really evenly matched. So now it gives Dos Santos some time to work in Newaza. Just is not able to turn her. Ooh, that was a mistake.
I think she was almost too comfortable down there, now getting held down.
So Nikolacic is holding down Dos Santos now. She only needs to hold down actually for 10 seconds, then she already has the Wasari on the board. And I probably think she will hold on to get the Ippon. I think the
clock stopped
is not on the board, but for sure it's an Ippon now.
Let's hold it for an extra 10 seconds just to make sure.
Really well done from Nikolacic. I think she was more dangerous on Tachiwaza. She was threatened in Newaza, but in the end she could finish it off in Newaza herself. It was nice to see that. Actually, there's a really interesting contest going on mat number 1 between Feruz Saidov and Beksat Mukanbetov of Kazakhstan. Saidov being the current world champion.
The quarterfinal, first quarterfinal of the day.
Yeah. And it's a really tough draw there, so even if there's not so many competitors here today, really Saidov doesn't have an easy run here. So I think we'll go to the 57 kilogram category. And we're actually going to watch two athletes that I haven't seen before, so that's going to be interesting. It's always nice to see some new athletes out there, you know, to see how they're doing. And sometimes you can get some big surprises out there. So here in the white judogi, we're going to see Elena Bogdanova of Belarus. And she will be facing Diana Fedosova of Kazakhstan in blue. Fedosova being quite a tall athlete as well. So for me, I think this must feel threatening, you know, if you don't know your opponent so well and then you already have to grip. So straight away into action, and Fedosova is working on the ground
definitely
now.
There's no feeling your opponent out.
No.
It's straight into the action. And I think she's trying to get the Sangaku here. Just if she
And
can
she
turn
does
her
have
over.
the arm there, she has some leverage, but let's see if she can make it.
Good defense by the Belarusian.
Yeah. I think she's a little bit too much on her back to really turn her over.
Fedosova's definitely got the height advantage here. We'll see if she'll use that to advantage or not. Maybe some Uchimatas, some Haragoshis.
Yeah, let's see. Doesn't say everything though.
Of course, of course.
So what's your favorite technique in the competitions?
I'd say Tominagi.
Really?
For me personally, yeah.
Nice. I never did that. I couldn't do that.
I sort of do a slightly different variation where
Yeah?
I roll to the side. And
Do you do like Yoko Tominage or straight?
a bit more straight, but a run. It's been jokingly called by everyone else in the British team the Stewnado. So
That must be awesome. If you then you do something special probably. In the meantime, Fedosova is working on Nevaza again. She's looking quite strong there. So actually, for me, opponents who did a lot of Tominages were for me the hardest ones to fight against.
what was your favourite technique?
I would say Osotogari or Seonage. Actually, I was quite tall and I did Seonage, so that's why I thought about it. Doesn't say everything, but I was most happy if I could throw a big Osotogari, which almost never happened.
Osotogari can be such a hard technique because as soon as you come in, they can counter straight away.
Yeah,
with
that's true. Yeah. Yeah, in that case, Seonage is a bit more safe.
Oh, Fedosova changed left-hand grip there. Sumigeshi for Wazari. I think the change in the grip from right to left there really disrupted Bogdanova.
Yeah. Actually, Fedosova looks quite strong against Bogdanova. Bogdanova is really struggling. So I talked to the referees a bit yesterday, and they have some focuses, you know, so they want to make it as much similar to regular, like to IGF judo, because I think it's the best. You know, they don't need to touch the athletes, for example, all the time, and many of the athletes, they can walk to their spot because they have some sight, and I think that's really nice to see.
Definitely, it's just I think some of the B1s who have obviously the least sight out of the three classifications do need some help. You'll see the referee bring them onto the mat as well and take them to the spot.
Exactly, yeah.
So about 2 minutes in, Fedosova's got Wazari, no Shiros on the board for either person yet. we'll see if she can hold on to the score.
Yeah, I think for me, she's looking really confident and really good actually. She's controlling nicely with her grip.
And I think not mentioned, obviously, because it is visually impaired athletes, they might not necessarily be able to see the edge of the mat. And I know from doing test fights with some of our visually impaired guys at the centre, you might not hear, but the referee is saying jog eye when they're approaching the edge of the mat, and that's just so they can hear that they know they can circle back in.
Yeah, and I think the athletes respond to that really well. So you see them turning, and I think that's really a clever way actually. And what I didn't realize actually that some of them, they have not the best sight, but they can still really see the corners. But as soon as they get really tired, they start to see less. So I didn't realize that, but sometimes you can see the difference in the start and the end of the contest. So Fedosova is moving really well. And I think because she has such long arms, she can really keep Bogdanova at distance.
Oh, she could be on the arm,
ooh. No, it was out, but it looked quite dangerous for a moment.
I've seen that I think the Tom Nagy attempt there was to go almost straight for the arm there.
Yeah, actually we saw that a few times that it was too fast because you cannot go straight to a juji or to a arm block. But they really have to make a real effort in this Tachiwaza technique. So Fedosova getting a first Judo on the board now.
Yeah, she's not really done too much since getting the Rosario score. She definitely needs to get attacking over the next few exchanges, or there could be another Pacific coming.
Yeah, she was moving around a lot. Now she's a little bit more still, but she was moving around a lot, but not making any big attacks. And it's Bogdanova who's trying to come in with a Sutami attack. Just no scores yet.
I think it's going to be difficult to try and catch Fedosova with a sacrifice technique like Tominagi.
Yeah.
She's a score up. She's not going to come on. She doesn't need to come on.
No.
So I think she needs to maybe stay standing, come in with a Sianagi or something similar.
Well, she will need to have to come up with the technique because she already has the Judo on the board. And she still can burn another Judo, but that's it. And it's still 1 minute 4 seconds. It's not, it's quite long still. So it is Fedosova that's putting on some pressure on Bogdanova, but Bogdanova is the one that's coming in for the techniques. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if there would be another Judo on the board for Fedosova soon. Yeah, that was a good technique, right? On the ground.
Definitely, this second half of the contest, Bogdanova's been in charge. Attack rate's been there. The knee waza work's been there. Just yet to get the score back.
Yeah.
30 seconds to go.
Yeah.
Not a lot of time left.
No, it's going quite quickly now. So Saidov just won his contest on mat number 1. It was a really tight contest, but he made it through.
You can definitely hear some of the people in the crowd. There's another good fight going on in mat 3 currently just now.
Yeah.
In 66 kilos. From Termabetov from Kazakhstan and Keito Gallegos from Argentina.
Ooh, that's it. Another Sutami attempt from Fedosova. She didn't do too much, but when she did something, it was really dangerous. Just enough for the win.
Because she just got the second Judo before that exchange there.
Yeah.
So the pressure was on a little bit, so it's good that she managed to finish the contest out there with another score.
Yeah, and it's Bogdanova will get another chance in the repêchage. Actually, here in VI Judo, you have a double repêchage. So if your opponent gets to the semi-finals, you will have a repêchage. It's slightly different than in IGF Judo. But in this case, it was the quarterfinal anyway, so repêchage for sure.
I'm heading back to the under 73 kilo category on mat 2. The first quarter-final on this side of the draw. We've got Termazan Daulet from Kazakhstan in white, and Odrivaldes Barakas from Lithuania in blue, who we saw earlier on the live stream.
Yeah, he did really well in his first contest. What do you like to have a first contest, or you like to have a bye?
Depends how big the competition is.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's true.
I think it can be beneficial having the bye. You get to see your opponent beforehand, come up with a good plan with your coach. But also, you could be cold going into the fight. So I think it's really important if you've got a bye. That warm up becomes really important for.
Yeah, it's true. I actually like to have a first contest, but then an easy one.
Yeah.
For me, that's the best. Like to warm up, to not have too much, like to not have a fight that's too difficult. But I was struggling sometimes in my first contest, so.
So Daulet from Kazakhstan, number 2 seed today in this competition. Left-handed, and then Barakas is right-handed. So that adds a little bit slightly different dynamic into the contest.
Yeah, this should mean a really interesting contest. Both really strong athletes, and it's really left against right. Nice left Moroto Seonage. Just could not really get under Baraikis, but a good first attempt.
It's just taking a while for them to set the grips here.
Yeah, although you have to get the grip, it's still really important to get the perfect grip, the best grip you can, basically.
So I was just trying to sneak the hand up a little bit to get a little bit of a stronger grip.
Yeah, exactly.
But Daulet is really controlling that sleeve, bringing it to him.
Yeah, but it's Baraikis who comes in with the technique. Just didn't have the best grip to come in there.
I think it might just be an attack to get out of that gripping situation, to reset.
Exactly. So Daulet actually won the last Grand Prix or the World Cup in Tbilisi. It was only for the men there, but it was quite a strong World Cup. And he had some good results in the past. He's won the Asian and Oceania Championships back in 2019.
He's really putting the pressure on there with also.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of experience on the circuit. He's been here before. And I think it's definitely shown in this fight. He seems to be leading pretty well so far.
Yeah, that's true. Baraik is just trying to escape a little bit the grip and the strength. But sometimes it's true that one is really having the upper hand in the first 1-2 minutes because he's a lot stronger, and then the other athlete is just trying to escape, but he gets to do his judo like this last 2 minutes of the contest. So I'm curious to see if this goes to distance, what will happen.
Good Moroto Seonage attempt.
Well, nice defense by Baraikis. Just
very close to getting tipped over there.
Exactly. But you can see the strength difference between Daulet and Baraikis. Daulet is really controlling here.
It's the sleeve for me. Every time he's getting that sleeve with his right hand, he's bringing it into his side, and it's stopping Baraikis to be able to rotate or anything to come in. So
yeah, you can see that Baraikis is trying to do some ashiwasa and trying to get in, but he just doesn't have the strength to come. To come through the kumikata of Daulet. Also, Daulet is using his left hand really to keep Baraikis at the distance. So interesting contest. I'm just curious. Daulet is controlling a lot, but I'm hoping to see some big techniques of him here.
Oh, he almost got caught there.
Yeah.
Sort of relaxed a little bit at the edge.
Well, that's actually what I mean. So even if Daulet is controlling the whole contest with basically mainly with strength, it doesn't mean that Barakis doesn't have a chance.
Well, definitely, especially in judo, at the snap of a finger, it can completely change. You make one little mistake, move wrong, you can get caught, thrown for a pawn, and that's your day over. So
no Shidos on the board. It's still really an open contest. And you can see Daulet is moving to the right side. He's really trying to search for an entrance. Just taking his time, actually. And you see Barakis moving around a lot more, just to trying to find an entrance and basically escaping a little bit the pressure of Daulet.
definitely, he's a bit more bent over. He's using his head, to block in Daulet's chest, so it's stopping the ability for him to come in for the Moroto and turn in.
Yeah, and I think Barakis is actually doing a really good job, also controlling a little bit that left hand of Daulet. You can see here that you know what Daulet wants to do. He wants to do that left Moroto Senage. And Barakis now he starts to be aware of that.
I wonder if Daulet will mix it up. He's tried the Moroto 2 or 3 times now.
Yeah.
Barakis seems to know when it's coming and how it's coming.
Exactly.
It'll be interesting to see what he does from here now.
Yeah, and I think Daulet, he's able to do some other left-sided techniques, but he is really left-sided, I guess. Well, that was another attempt, but it was not the best attempt, to be honest.
He tried to mix it up. Don't think he really prepared it too much.
No.
Maybe rushed it slightly, but there you go, there's Shiro for the false attack.
Yeah, and that's, you can see, like in the beginning we thought like Daulet was way stronger, and now it's 1 minute 3 seconds left on the clock, and it's Daulet that picked up the one Shido, so there's a slight advantage for Barakis at the moment.
It could be tiring slightly, to be honest.
Yeah, you can tell.
And I spoke about it before, because we start on the grip here and VI Judo, Paralympic Judo. It really takes the strength out of your arms. They're always engaged, especially at the start. So you can see, as you say, you can see by the end of the contest, certain players that don't have that sort of that muscular endurance and fitness do fatigue quite quickly.
Yeah, and I think it's normal because the strength is on there from the second they start. As in IGF Judo, sometimes you have some more, you can run around a little bit, you can get the grip with one hand. Of course, not too long. It's also, we need to grip with 2 hands, but it's just, you can take some rest at some point.
A good Senage attempted by Barakis, who's really picked up this second half of this contest. Daulet going for the choke, but it was definitely over the face there.
Sometimes it's hard to see, but this case...
it was up over his eyes.
Eye strangle is not a thing, right? No.
If the referee doesn't see.
Yeah, did that ever happen to you? For me, it did happen sometimes that the referee couldn't see and it was on the chin, but in the end, you have to tap out, you know?
26 seconds left. 1 Shido to Daulet from Kazakhstan.
Yeah, definitely a really good fight, an interesting fight going on. And actually, Daulet still looks really relaxed, really calmed, and just looking for an entrance. And it's Barakis that looking a little bit more ready to go and finding the attacks.
His attack rate has definitely been a lot higher than Daulet this last 30 seconds.
Yeah.
So we're into golden score. So any score wins the contest now.
I couldn't tell who would take this contest. It really can go either way.
I think if Barakis can keep his pace up, his high pace up, and his attack rates up, he could edge the fight here.
Yeah, I think so too.
And on some other mats, we've got 60 kilos on just now, mat 1. If you want to check out some of those, and 66 on mat 3.
Ooh, that looks dangerous. So yeah, actually I'm looking forward to see Diego Marquez as well. I hope to see him later today. He was doing really well in the last competition. He missed out just with 2 fights that were so close, but he showed a lot of potential there. so it's good to see him back here today. But let's see what will happen here. Oh, that's it. Wow, that's really nicely done.
I was about to say both players changed the grips, they're coming around the side
Yeah.
instead of the more traditional lapel grip, and Barakis just managed to get in there for the Sumigeshi attempt to get the Wazari and move on.
That's a really good win for him.
Definitely knocking out number 2 seed for today. So
Yeah, and he's been around for a long time, you know, and he has really good judo, but the 73 is such a strong weight category. So I'm really happy to see him here today, and he will be in the semi-finals later. And it's a really good opportunity for him, but you see that he also is beating the top seeds.
yeah, I think 73 is definitely one of the wide open categories where it's hard to predict. You see in the IGF Tour as well, the amount of different people who win the events in 73s.
Yeah, it's crazy, right?
We've got the next quarter-final coming up. Rafat Madamedov from Ukraine in white and Georgi Kaldani from Georgia in blue. Kaldani had a really quick contest earlier with Ashiwaza. I think it was 8 seconds.
Yeah, he's in really great form. Also, he was in great form in Baku, winning the event. And let's see if he can repeat that today. That will be an amazing result for him, and it's such a good preparation for Tokyo. Of course, I'm not even sure if he's going.
Yeah.
But if he will win today, I think he has good chances of qualifying for Tokyo. I think this is going to be a tricky contest, actually.
It looks like both are right-handed.
They're taking some time to take the grip.
I think that's some of the tactics. You make it come on with one grip and change it just before it starts.
Yeah, as you can see here, immediately Mahomedov changed his right arm. He didn't like that where it was in the beginning.
Kaldani's going for that foot sweep again.
Oh, and almost going over here. Yeah, Kaldani is really good with his footwork.
Kaldani is definitely strong with this his left lapel grip. Oh, nice lat attempt there. Let's see if he can work it on the ground. I think definitely looking at some of these countries like Georgia, really strong wrestling background.
Yeah.
So like with the Katagumas, the Latses, Uranagis, all sort of famous techniques that a lot of the Georgian team do.
Yeah, you can really tell that they're doing that a lot. Actually, I'm checking now with Kaldani, and he's just moved up to the 73.
Okay.
So that was a really good move for him, apparently. And it's really interesting, actually, because if the Paralympics would just have taken place in 2020, for sure he would have been in the 66 kilogram category. And maybe this is just a really great move so short before the next for these Paralympics.
I think for some it was a really good chance.
Yeah.
People moved up, and having these extra 2 or 3 competitions just before the Paralympics gives people who maybe would have missed out a great opportunity to qualify and fight.
Yeah, that's the weird thing, you know. For some, it's been really hard because they just miss out because it's 1 year longer, or they're injured or not, and it's the other way around for some other people. And some of the young talents, because of this 1 year extra, they get the chance to qualify.
Mahomedov's really struggling to get that big right hand on. I think a few times he has managed to get the grip down the back. He's got a good Uchimata attempt in, but.
So here they're really working with that with Kaldani's left side and Mahomedov's right side. They really need to watch out that they keep the grip. Otherwise it will just be machine. And that's really nicely done by Mahomedov. Nice Kochi.
Just good change of direction.
Yeah.
A lot of his attacks have been to the front sort of throughout this contest. And so fakes the front and takes Kochi taken back. Very unlucky not to get the score there, though.
Yeah, it was looking really good, and actually it's such a a good fight to watch. It's going a lot of directions. It's really a lot of attacks coming in from both sides. So both taking their grip again. But you can tell straight after the start, Mahomedov changes his grip. He's really going for it, but strong defense from Kaldani.
I think definitely again, so he gets that big right hand down the back.
Yeah.
And Kaldani panics a little bit. He's a slight height advantage, but the longer legs of Magomedov realising to put the pressure on for the Uchimata.
Yeah, I think Kaldani needs to step up a bit and make some attacks now, otherwise he might pick up a Judo. He already has a Judo on the board.
Definitely, I think he needs to put a good attack in this exchange.
Yeah.
But again, the Uchimata from Magomedov.
Yeah, he's struggling so much, and now it's Mahomedov who's trying to work on the ground. I think that could be on, yeah. Ooh, that's a problem for Kaldani.
And he's not got the choke, and he's now got the hold down.
Yeah, that was really clever work from Mahomedov.
Really good. I don't know the proper name of it. I've always referred to it as like the slippery fish.
Yeah, oh really?
Yeah.
I honestly, I wouldn't know. It's a shimewaza.
Yeah.
Ooh, but that's unfortunate for Kaldani. Oh.
19 seconds.
Ooh, he still does have a chance. That's gonna be good. I really like that actually. So they're supposed to, it should be a Wazari on the board for Mahomedov and no scores on the board for Kaldani. So Kaldani still has a chance, but it's not looking good for him.
No, it's definitely not.
But it's really impressive that he got out of that one, because he was in the strangle and he was in a Saikami.
It's difficult, and then at the end of that 20 seconds, because you're using all your strength, especially in the first 10 seconds to get out. It's not often you see someone get out just before the point.
No, it's true. It's really really nice, but it's taking a lot of strength out of each of these athletes. Newaza can be so hard.
That's why I try to avoid it.
Yeah.
Oh,
nice! Oh, wow! What a comeback! So how would you call that one? Adjusted Katakaruma?
I'd go lats probably.
Yeah.
Well, it's like the old Katakaruma with the leg grabs, but it's not allowed anymore.
Wow, what a contest, really.
He definitely increased the pace there with that exchange.
Yeah, and you can see Mahomedov thinking like, I was almost winning there. Took me one more second, and now it's completely back to square one.
It could be in his head that he switched off a little bit that exchange. He thought he'd won the contest.
Yeah.
I think he needs to refocus here, get back to getting that big right hand down the back, controlling the grip.
Yeah, he just needs to basically keep doing what he was doing, because he was doing really well.
It's been a really good contest so far, this one.
Yeah, that was not the best attempt, but another attempt in for Mahomedov. Yeah, and I think if we also look at the athletes, that 73 is definitely the strongest category today with 14 athletes. And the current world champion in there, and also the Grand Prix winner, who we see on the mat here now.
And it always tends to be one of the busier categories as well.
Yeah, another right Uchimata attempt from Mahomedov, just didn't pull through. Ooh,
Nice,
that's it.
Yeah.
Great Oshiwaza from Kaldani. He's
see
so
Kaldani
good with it.
Came over with the left hand instead of coming the lapel.
Yeah.
Put the pressure on the elbow, stops it from coming up. Nice reaction for the foot sweep.
Yeah, Mahomedov cannot believe that this happened, and I feel bad for him, because he was controlling the whole fight basically, and trying to finish off in Newas, and then Kaldani just came back.
It was 1 second away from winning the contest, and then
that's pretty harsh.
Just how things change.
Yeah, and now he has to go through the repêchage contest, so it's a longer run for him as well. and trying to pick up a bronze medal here today. He's so disappointed.
I think he's going to be fighting Kazakhstan in the repêchage. I think it could be a tricky little fight. Both are.
Yeah, and they still have to, I think, beat some other athletes first, but it could be the next matchup.
I think we're moving back to 52 kilos. On mat 2, we've got the #1 seed coming up, Priscilla Cagney from Canada, who is a B1, and Carla Cardoso from Brazil in the blue, who's a B3.
Yeah, it's nice to see Cardoso here. Of course, she stayed in Baku after the last Grand Prix. They stayed training there, and that's why they could compete here. And Gagne is the bronze medalist of the last World Championships. She's a really good athlete.
What's like we spoke about before, Cardoso had a first fight. She's nice and warm coming into this. Already fought today. And Cagney's coming out, hopefully done a good warm-up, but first fight of the day, it can be difficult.
Yeah, I think Gagne is the favorite here, but let's see how this plays out. And I'm also curious to see Salieva and Gagne competing. We haven't seen that this year. So that could be a potential final. Of course, they still have to win their contests. But there is some really high quality in here, even if there's not so many competitors.
So the Canadians, it looks like she's left-handed here.
Yeah.
And the Brazilian's right.
Yeah, she's really strong left-sided. You can see that she's really trying to go that left side, left way.
Turning right.
Yeah.
She's got the right reaction there. Just needed to hold on a bit tighter, I think, on the grips in order to finish the technique. Gagne is really good at, again, pulling that sleeve in.
Yeah.
Controlling it there, which is.
Yeah, she's looking quite controlling, although Cardoso is coming in with a nice Seonage attempt. She was basically controlled by the grip, so she could never score from that. But it could be, like you told me earlier, it could be a way to really escape the pressure of your opponent.
It was still a decent attack, no danger of getting a Shido, but it gets out of that dangerous situation.
Yeah, and sometimes the only thing you have to do is disturb your opponent, try to get them out of some comfort, and then it can give you some chances. Oh, that was really surprising, actually. Gagne going on her side.
There's a little bit of a secondary movement with the Moroto there. The first attempt wasn't necessarily too great, but kept the drive going. I wonder if they'll take a look at that.
For sure they will take a look at that. So actually the first movement there of Cardoso was really not that great, but she kept going and in the end took Gagne to her side.
Yep.
So it's a Vasari on the board. Really unexpected.
I wonder, see how Cagney reacts to this. She's going to increase the pace.
You can see that Gagne is really two-sided. Now she's coming in for a right-sided technique again.
She's coming across well. She's getting the leg across. She's not holding on to the grips, and with no pressure on the upper body, it's hard to roll them over for a score.
Yeah, she still has some time left on the clock, 2 minutes 46 seconds, so plenty of time. But she cannot go over for another Vasari, basically, which almost happened now. Almost being taken over by Cardoso.
So the danger with pushing on, you're pushing on.
Yeah.
All that needs to happen is for Cardoso to turn in, or you do a foot sweep there, possibly get the second score.
Yeah, in the VI Judo you do see a lot of takeovers and really good strong reactions. So you also always have to watch out for that. So they're both moving around a lot. Oh, that was almost a score. Gagne working on the feet of Cardoso.
Good Sasa attempt there.
Yeah.
Close. I think Cardoso's definitely going to need to pick it up. The last few exchanges has not done too much. There could be a Pacific coming.
Yeah, she's definitely not there yet, and it's Gagne now working on Newas, and she's looking quite good, trying to free the leg. And she's getting herself in a better position here.
Yep.
Just need to control that top half.
It seems a bit loose, to be honest.
Yeah. But it is on now. I'm not sure if that's going to keep on now. So she had a hold down for just a few seconds.
I think if she tied off the head a bit tighter there, put a bit more pressure on the neck and the shoulder, maybe could have got the hold down there, but Cardoso done well to turn out.
Yeah, sometimes you can feel like that you don't have enough time, but honestly, if you look in control and it looks like it's progressing, even if you take some time to control the top half, the referee will let you go. That's why actually the Japanese are so dangerous. They do take their time, and they get time because it's always ending up in some hold down or juji.
Oh, Morotto again.
Oh, that was enough, right?
I think so.
Wow, and you can see by the happiness of Cardoso that she was not the favorite for this contest, but she's taking the win.
Definitely a good win to start the day. Sets her up pretty well for the rest of the tournament.
Yeah, and actually, of course, it's a big disappointment for Gagne, but in the end, sometimes it cannot be too bad if you, before the last tournament, before the Paralympics, if you lose out, it makes you more sharp. So you see some mistakes, you can work on those. So if she looks at this as a test event, it shouldn't be too bad, you know. Of course, it's a disappointment, but
definitely, there's a lot of time between now and the Paralympics. There's a lot of time to go back, watch the video footage over with the coaches and see what needs to be corrected and done. And sometimes it's just not your day, to be honest. Stuff happens.
Yeah, and it's good to be out here, to be dealing with the nerves a little bit, and to get some more experience in before the Paralympics. Actually, for the World Championships of IGF, I heard from some of the Dutch athletes that they also say, I don't care if I go on my back here, if I do well in Tokyo, it's all worth it.
Definitely, you see a lot of these athletes dealing with the pressure and nerves in a lot of different ways. You see a lot of them speaking to the coaches before they're coming out. A lot of them get ready with slapping the body. You see a lot of face slaps as well, sometimes at competitions. A lot of visualization in that as well. There's a multitude of ways to prepare and get ready for these competitions.
Yeah, and I've also been talking to some of the athletes, and they say they have so much nerves because they were out for such a long time. And I can imagine that, because the way you experience a competition is so different than training. You can really never prepare for that, and you need to have some competitions in. So it was really a pity that we couldn't have the competitions for more than a year, but now we have two. So I think it's a really big benefit for some of the athletes that they have the two competitions this year.
Definitely. So now Mat 2 still 52 kilos. Basti Safarova from Azerbaijan in white, and Cynthia Page Simon in blue from USA.
Yeah, I think Safarova here is the favorite. She's the bronze medal winner of the Grand Prix in Baku, and she starts to make a name for herself.
It was good to get a bronze medal in your whole home country. Always good with well, I don't know if there was a crowd in Baku or not, but
there wasn't a crowd. But the benefit if you're at home, also the crew members, you know,
they
you do have a crowd in the end, so you do have some benefit.
Just going here for the Shimiwaza.
Yeah. It was really on the chin here, so. Yeah, Safarova, really good athlete. I think she has some experience also in IGF Judo. She had some results in, and well, she's doing well in IBSA Judo as well.
You've seen a lot more athletes sort of transition from the IGF tour and coming into the IBSA tour. Nice foot sweep there for Rosario. I suppose the main name that most of us know is Gogachuri. He's had a few IGF World Tour medals. I think he won Tbilisi when he fought there as well. So
yeah, he really is a top athlete, and it's even more impressive that in the IGF Tour, with this impairment, he did so well, and you can see how good he is basically. He got beaten in the Paralympic Judo one time, I think last year it was. So that was a big shock for him because he was unbeaten for quite a few years.
I think it was the Russian, if I remember correct.
Yeah, I think so, on the Europeans. So, but still, I think he will be the top favorite for Tokyo.
Oh, we've got Christopher Skelly.
Yeah,
He'll be fighting tomorrow.
Yeah,
so
he has something to say about that for sure. Yeah, he's doing really well actually. He's being really constant with his results. I think he had a medal in each competition, right?
Yeah, he's been really consistent, and there was a bit of a poor attempt there by Tom Nagy by Blue. Safa will be able to keep the hold down.
I think she only needs to hold on for a few more seconds, even though it doesn't look so strong. Yeah, it's not enough. I think she was stopped at 9 seconds.
I think they'll definitely double check that.
Yeah. Let's see what they will do. I think Safarova looks a lot stronger, but still, let's see if she got the. Yeah, she got it.
Yeah. I think definitely. I'm sure we'll speak more tomorrow on some of the British guys we've got coming and Skelly. But definitely the way they've been training over the last 6 months, it's going to be exciting to watch them compete tomorrow. Definitely.
Yeah. And Skelly also has some hearing impairment, right? So yeah, is that different for you also to train with him, or it doesn't matter so much?
It depends. I think over time most of us are used to it. So if we need to repeat something the coach has said, we can do that with him beforehand. But you see with a lot of the visually impaired athletes, some of them have some hearing deficiency as well. Yeah. But I'm sure if they have hearing deficiency, they've got sometimes you see a red patch on the arm. Yeah, you have the yellow patch. Yeah. So they know. So the referee might touch them, especially when they know it's Mate Hajime. Yeah. So they're a little bit. The rules are a little bit different. So he will basically write the score or the penalty on the hand, and they will tap the bags. There's some differences, but I think the rest is all the same. But it can be quite difficult, I think, if you cannot hear anything or not see anything. It's quite difficult also for the referee sometimes to really make sure that they are following everything. And now we've got Svenic Saloleva from Uzbekistan in white and Natalia Nikolovic from Ukraine in blue. Yeah, we have the silver medalist here of the last Grand Prix, Saloleva. But almost in a mistake. Ooh, that was a big mistake from Saloleva. Tight round the head there. Doing a sutami, but now almost in a osaikami of Nikolajczyk. It was dangerous. I don't think she prepped it too well. Maybe rushed the technique a little bit and almost lost the contest. Yeah, and I think there's maybe a small strength difference. And Saloleva looks really strong getting out of that osaikami, because that can be the finish basically. But Nikolajczyk looked quite strong also in the first contest. Salova's got the left hand round the back now. And you could see she was really trying to go for that, trying to go in with her left hip. But good movement also from Nikolajczyk. Nikolajczyk managed to create enough distance that Salova couldn't get the hip in there to finish the technique. But pretty good contest so far. Yeah, I think Nikolajczyk is really new to the scene, but I saw her, I think, back in another tournament, and now she's doing really well. So
I think she's a big promise for the future. It's a bit unfortunate that she has Černiak in the same weight category. You know, she's really the top favorite and the #1 seed.
Well, sometimes you see with two people from the same country and
Yeah.
the same weight, they really push each other on because
Yeah,
they're
it's
both trying to
true.
get that one spot.
Yeah, we saw some examples during the last World Championships also.
Yeah, you look at 81 kilos with Matthias Kass and
Yeah.
Chuchi.
Yeah,
Both have had
Chuchi is such a good
results,
athlete,
yeah.
you know. Yeah, it's crazy. And with the women, we saw that with Deguchi and Klimke, it's quite harsh actually that if you're #1 and 2 of the world ranking, that only one of them goes to the Olympics in this case. Here it's Salieva trying to work on Newas, and that looks really strong there. Nice Osaikani.
Oh.
Ooh. For me, that's so surprising that sometimes it looks so strong and then still the opponent get away out of this
I
Osaikani.
think what happened there when she almost got out,
Yeah.
Salieva's put her hand down to sort of readjust, and at that moment, with that little bit of space, Blue almost tried to push out, but managed to hold on, get up on there, move on to semi-final.
Actually, Nikolajczyk almost had the leg of Salieva, just not enough around it. But it was a good contest for her. She just needs to try to get that bronze medal now. So I think we have one more contest coming up in the 52 kilogram category in the quarterfinals. And we're going to see the #2 of the last World Championships, Ramona Brusic. Told you about that earlier, that she wasn't in great form in Baku. That's probably why she chose to come here as well, to try to get a better feeling for the Paralympics. But let's see if she's in good shape today.
Definitely, I think just getting that time on the mat in a competition setting, because it's very difficult. A lot of countries do sort of test fights in their own training base, but it's just not the same feeling. You don't get the warm-up area, the kick control is not the same.
No, and only the fact that it's called a competition, you know, that already changes it. And you have the different opponents, and it's just completely different. So crazy how much that can do, you know. Even if you go to Olympics or Paralympics, the amount of pressure you have then, because it all has to go in rightly in that moment. It's really nerve-wracking.
I think even come for the competitions now, because obviously with the pandemic, there's a lot of logistical stuff. It's different now, being quarantined in the hotel and going through the testing process. It's good to go through that, so when you get to the Olympics or Paralympics, done all this before.
Exactly. If you haven't done the competitions, it's going to be quite hard, or at least it's a completely new experience for you, and it can be quite distracting.
Nice coach there.
Straight to the hold down, but I don't think she can hold that. She's working in Newaza though.
I think Lesma put the first tack in, came across, then Brusic countered it with Ashwaz of her own, got the score.
Yeah, now she's trying to work on the arm. Almost getting that, but good defense of Ledesma.
It's a strong start from the German.
Yeah, she's definitely looking more sharp than the last competition.
Yeah, both got extreme right grips.
Yeah. Now Ledesma coming in with the right. I think it was also Tugari. Or
Yeah, it was a good attempt. I think didn't have enough movement in the upper body. Didn't set the upper body up enough. But
actually, it's so hard to come in with an Osotogari if you're both right-sided. It's because you have so much strength coming from that side. You really need to be convincing, and sometimes it's easier to go to Haragoshi, for example. So here she's working on the arm again, and that looks really tight.
I don't know how she's not tapped there.
I never understand that, by the way, because I'm really not flexible. So for me, I would already have tapped.
I have no idea how she did not tap there.
That's crazy. Well, some are more flexible than others.
I think if that was me, I think my arm definitely would have snapped in two.
Yeah, mine too, for sure. So that was really, there was too much distance between Ledesma and her opponent trying to come in for a just Katakuruma. Just not the best entry, and it gives Brusik some more time to work in Newaza. Now trying to work on the arm again, just a little bit a different technique. But it looks like Ledesma is really flexible with her arms.
It seems so. You see that Argentinian is always getting the first attack in.
Yeah.
So she's looking busy. Also, she's chasing because she's a score down. But I don't think Brusik minds too much. She can waste a lot of time on the ground. She seems to be very proficient on the ground.
Yeah.
Sort of could catch her, but maybe it's two arm locks she's went for now, and the Argentinians managed to escape. So maybe try a turnover for the hold down. Or
Yeah, I think that will be a more clever and a more safe direction. But you can really see that Brusik is one of the most experienced athletes here in the tour. And just working away, taking her time on Newaza. Now it looks quite strong. She's really controlling. You cannot see from this angle, but you could see that she's really controlling that shoulder and arm of Ledesma, so she can really not go anywhere.
Definitely, that's definitely a good win there for the German, who, as you said, looks a lot better form today than she did in the last tournament. So,
well, let's see what will happen if she is facing Sevinch Saleva, because that's a really tough fight for her and a good test in this tournament. So we're going to go back to the 73 kilogram category.
I think if you want to check out any other mats, mat 1 just now, we've got the 60 kilos on there. There's a good contest currently in golden score over there, and then on mat 3, the 66 kilo fight just about to end, and it'll go into the 48 kilos semi-finals. So
yeah, that will be really good to watch. We will take a look at that for sure, and we will stay on mat number 2. But of course, if you want to watch the other match, you can just go to that channel. And we will keep you updated from this mat and also a little bit from the other mats.
First repêchage contest. We've got Youssef El Harish from France in white, and Temrazan Dowlett in blue. I think Dowlett's he's gonna come at the gate strong here, especially after losing that opening contest.
Yeah, he looked better in the last contest, but in the end it was just really clever work from Baraikis. And El Hirek had a tough start, you know, he lost quickly against Baraikis, but let's see if he can come back from that now.
It was a good attempt there for the drop technique.
Yeah, we cannot really see from this angle, but it looks like there's a shimiwaza going on there. Ooh.
I'm not sure if he tapped or if he was pointing at the chin.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it was a mate or what happened. So the referees from the side will check that as well.
I think you can see the Frenchman pointing, and it's over the chin. It was over the chin, but again, you saw maybe a tap at the end there.
Yeah. It is a bit risky, though, to point at like sometimes you need to do this to make sure the referee sees it, but also it can be a risk because it can look like you're tapping out. Well, they do really need a recheck. And I actually hope that El Hirek gets another chance, otherwise it will be so sad for him. 2 really quick contests in this tournament. And he has a bit of bad luck because he's facing really good athletes here with his draw.
Definitely, I think it'd be good for us to see a bit more of the contest.
Yeah,
I'm
really.
I'm sure Dowlett is hoping that they're going to give the ippon for the tap.
Well, they do really need a lot of time to check it, so it for sure it was there is some discussion going on there on the side.
I think it was really difficult to get a good angle of it,
Yeah.
to get a good look, just because Daylat was covering up the neck with his legs as well. So
Yeah. Yeah, I think the referee director Henk Plugge is taking a good look of what's going on here, and he will let the referee know any second now. And actually, it's kind of difficult also for the athletes because they really don't know what's going to happen, and they need to stay so focused. But it can mean almost losing or winning out. So they're just going to continue. I'm happy with that, though. Left-sided technique from the left. Again, it was the Kumikata was not too strong.
I think he rushed it. He tried to come over the one side. Didn't get as far around, I think, as he wanted to. Came in for the attack. It wasn't a terrible attack, but I don't think there was any real chance of scoring with the Osoto there. I think the Frenchman needs to definitely, in this exchange here, really establish himself and get an attack in, or a Pacific might be coming his way.
But Daulet is again having a really strong left-sided grip. And actually it's not so clever from El Hirek to do that attempt from such a strong grip. He needs to make some more movements, otherwise he would just get a penalty for a false attack next time.
No, if you watch there, Daulet, he was trying to slowly move that left hand up to get behind the neck. The referee took it back down, but he's definitely going to search for that again.
Another left Sunagi. It almost looks like Daulet is too relaxed or something, you know? He has some really good movements, but it looks a little bit sloppy sometimes. Yeah, that looks really good. But Daulet looks like he's so relaxed and he's just trying out a bit. And
it's almost like he was just floating into the technique. There was no snap to really finish the technique, but
for me it looks like for sure like the Newaza was really good, but the Tachiwaza he looked like he was in training. He's doing a randori.
We'll move on to the next round of the ref charge.
Yeah, we're going to watch Rodolfo Fabian Ramirez of Argentina. It will be in a white judogi, and Rufat Mahomedov of Ukraine in blue. Of course, Mahomedov has such an upsetting loss the last round, so he will be really motivated to get a win here.
Definitely. Watching some of the other mats, mat 1's currently on an 8-minute break, so that's going to be out of action for a while. So suggest maybe moving on mat 2, you can hear us commentate on that, or if you want to watch some of the 48 kilos coming on, you can tune into mat 3.
Yeah, at most of the competitions they take a little break also to clean out the mats, but maybe they just need a break because there's too short between the fights for the athletes. I'm not sure what's going on, but it's an 8-minute break.
Yeah, definitely. You always see the competitions now, they come out with the mops and the disinfectant to clean the mats, and obviously all the staff and the players are tested multiple times with COVID tests before coming here, so just try and make it as safe as possible for everyone taking part.
Yeah, I think that's all. It's so important, but they're doing that really well. So we're really also staff. We're all tested a lot of times to just make absolutely sure that nothing can happen. And even then, there is a small risk, but I think it's going quite well.
So we've got right v left here.
Yeah.
Definitely a bit of a height advantage here for the Ukrainian, but.
That's under the chin. That doesn't look good for Ramirez.
Straight for the choke. You just need to stretch him out a little bit, I think, here.
That was quite a quick mate from the referee. So Ramirez escaped that one. I think Mahomedov looks like he's really controlling. He's not going to take big risks. Just waiting his chance.
Oh, he's got left grip, coming, trying to get that right Ouchi in.
Yeah.
So again, as athletes sort of reach the edge of the mat, the referee will be saying jog eye, just to give them a little reminder to come back into the centre of the mat.
Actually, here Magomedov still looks disappointed from his last contest. It looks like he doesn't want to be here. He just want to get it over with, but he still needs to beat his opponent. And he looks a bit nonchalant almost.
Yeah.
So he needs to watch out with that. You know, you can not make any mistakes.
It can be difficult. A lot of athletes struggle coming back from such a dramatic loss like that. 10 minutes ago. It's important to reset, get your mind back in the game, and get ready for the next round. The day's not over, so.
Yeah, and it actually looks like Magomedov is struggling still with that. He picks up a Judo here for a gripping error, and really needs to collect himself and just get into this contest again.
It was just a bit of a silly mistake there. He took his hand off and waited too long to put it back on.
Well, I actually saw him in the last contest against Koldani. He also was like on the border of not getting getting a Judo, so he needs to watch out with that, with his kumikata. And you can tell he probably trains a lot with the IGF judokas, so with the sighted judo, because you can see his kumikata sometimes looks a bit like that. So 3 minutes left on the clock, so no scores yet on the board.
Yeah, Magomedov, he's taking the left grip and he keeps wanting to turn right, so I wonder if we could see a left side technique coming from him soon. He's mainly going for that Ouchigari.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think he doesn't get the reaction that he wants from Ramirez. Maybe he wants to push him and get a small reaction there, but that didn't happen yet. So that makes it more difficult for Magomedov to come in with the technique.
And he's completely changed to right there.
Yeah. So Magomedov is really struggling. Also Ramirez has a really good reaction.
He's got a good strong lapel grip. He's managed to keep the distance. It was not the greatest Sinagi attempt there.
No.
But that right hand is really, I think it's really upsetting Magomedov. He just can't get close.
Yeah, and for me it's like Magomedov is just mentally, he needs to step up a little bit. You know, he's distracted, and I saw that in previous competitions as well for him, that he's really bothered by some things, and he needs to really practice to stay cool and collected, just focusing on his own thing and his own techniques, and then he's a really, really great judoka. Well, that was a nice Sonage attempt, just not getting underneath Ramirez. But he shows some really good judo. In the meantime, by the way, in mat number 3, there's the current Paralympic champion on the mat, Sandrine Aurieres Martinet. That's really quite a tough contest against Brusik here. So that's interesting to watch as well. Here in the meantime on this mat, it's Magomedov who's probably going to finish it off here with some good Newaza work. He didn't take big risks. And I'm really hoping to see him back in some better shape in the next contest.
I hope so. He's through to the next round of the repêchage. I think he needs to sort of go back into the warm-up area and just get a completely reset, forget about what's happened this morning.
Yeah.
And sort of move into this afternoon with new goals and hopefully come out with a bit more intensity.
Yeah, I think he still needs to win one more contest to be able to go to the bronze medal contest. And let's see if he can make that. It's still quite tough. I think he will be facing Daulet in the next one, so that will be a really good contest. Maybe that's why he's a little bit frustrated. He has a really long road to the bronze medal contest.
Well, sometimes if you looked at it on paper beforehand, you maybe thought those two would be fighting each other for a medal fight.
Yeah, exactly. So we're going to go to the semi-finals in the 57 kilogram category. So on this mat, we're going to see Laura Candela Gonzalez. She will be wearing the white judo gi of Argentina, and she is facing Dayana Fedosova of Kazakhstan in blue. So Fedosova we already see in the last contest, and Gonzalez had a bye, so she's only fighting this semi-finals.
As you can see, the Argentinian, she's 10th in the world, so she has got some good results.
Yeah.
To get you, so this could be a good, interesting contest.
Yeah, but it is kind of hard that you only are fighting a semi-final, especially if you lose out. You just don't want to go to a tournament, have 2 fights and lose them both.
And that was a little update from Mat 3, the current Olympic champion of 48 kilos. Just won her first contest. She's into the final. It's a nice drop CO attempt there.
Yeah, I think she's one of the top athletes out here in the field, and she will be the favorite also to win another Paralympic title. Easier said than done. There are a few really good athletes out there, but she's looking really strong.
It can be difficult. You look at that. Having to stay that dominant over a 4-year period,
Yeah.
there's very few that's done it. You look at some of it in the Olympic. Kayla Harrison done it. Obviously
that's a
Namura
nice
as well.
score there. And that looks really strong. She only needs to hold on to that for 10 seconds, Gonzalez, to making sure that she's in final today. That's it. Really strong work from her. Even though it's her first contest, she's looking really sharp, and she's happy with her win.
You see the passion with it as well. It was a very good win, dominant fight there by her.
So yeah, her opponent still needs to be decided. Another semi-final will be on mat number 1. You can click on that mat if you like to. We will stay here, and we're gonna watch the semi-finals of the under 73 kilogram category.
Yeah, we'll give them a good opportunity. They're obviously going to be able to study and see who's going to have in the final. So great opportunity to prepare very well for the final, which will take place later this afternoon.
Yeah. Yeah, so let's see if we, I think we're going to continue straight away with the semi-finals.
And this is definitely a good contest coming out of mat 2.
Yeah.
Barikis from Lithuania has looked very good today. 2 really good wins against good opponents. And obviously Kaldani, who saw came back from on the brink of defeat in the last fight against Magomedov, and then is now in the semi-final.
Yeah, he had a really tough last contest, but Bareikis also had really tough. I think they're really both outperforming today. For me, if I look at the last competition, also Kaldani would be the slight favorite for me. He's doing so well in the last 2 competitions, moving up to the 73 kilogram category. And let's see what he can do against Bareikis. Bareikis is just a really clever athlete, I guess, and a really tactical athlete. He won really basically by tactics, trying to move a lot, while his opponent was a lot stronger. But yeah, let's see what happens now in the semi-finals.
He's going to watch out. The Georgian's got some very strong footwork on him. He's won the last 2 contests with Ashwaza, so.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest danger for Bareikis, going over by some Ashiwaza.
So it's looking like it's going to be left v right, Kaldani being left, Barikis being right.
Yeah, you can see already that Ashiwaza coming from Kaldani, just feeling his opponent.
Barikis, he's got the inside of that lapel grip, and I think that's just keeping Kaldani out a little bit, especially from coming with any hip techniques.
Yeah, and Bareikis is quite clever also with his kumikata, and you start to notice more and more when you watch him compete. He's trying to stay out of the pressure of Kaldani.
Kaldani's moved on to the tricep grip.
Yeah.
Could see him come in for a lats here, possibly. It's definitely there for the taking.
Yeah, quite an interesting grip he had actually. I'm not sure if he could do so much from the direction. He was good with the Ashiwaza, so... But no scores yet on the board. Big ippon on mat number 3 just by Kurambanyev of Uzbekistan. So we will see him also later today in his final.
Oh!
Nice Sutami attempt from Baraikis.
He's getting closer and closer with that. He was quite close with the first time, and then that second one there, maybe just a little bit extra pull on the arm and the sleeve hand. Could have rolled him over for a score there, but...
Yeah, so Baraikis doesn't have the super big throws and the big techniques, but he's so clever with his now with his Sutami, and he can just steal away the contest.
I think Kaldani's when you pick up the pace a little bit here. He's got a passivity there. So he's 1 Shiro down. Definitely going to need to get an attack in or two here.
Yeah, he did that actually the last contest also. He looked quite passive during the first few minutes, and then suddenly he could change the pace. I'm not sure if he can do that again here. It's Baraikis that looking really active.
It was a good attempt by Baraikis. He felt the pressure coming from the big left grip behind the head from Kaldani. Knew he needed to do something to get out of there. Puts in a decent attack. Can reset the exchange.
Yeah, Kaldani needs some more time to prepare his attacks, and he needs to keep Baraikis under control, and that's quite hard with Baraikis.
Here again on that tricep grip.
That's quite interesting to see here. He has his that nice Kosotogake. No, it's not a Kosotogake. What is that technique called?
I just go foot sweep, to be honest.
Deashibarai maybe. But he's hooking in there, you know, he's not really doing a foot sweep.
He's definitely fighting a lot better these past 30 seconds minute. Definitely picked up the pace.
Yeah. Still 2 minutes and 12 seconds left on the clock, so really even matchup. It will be such a good result for Kaldani to pick up another final spot in this Grand Prix.
Again, I think Kaldani's waiting for it. He knows when as soon as he gets his grip, Baraikis is going to drop in from the attack, and I don't know if we're going to start penalising him for it if there's not a lot of movement with it.
No, and the thing is, he's gonna get. The thing is, like sometimes Kaldani goes down to the floor, but not because he's under pressure or anything. He's just trying to take over. So I think it's correct that the referee gives a Judo here. So Baraikis is really doing well with this kumikata, trying to really escape that pressure on the left side from Kaldani, but this time Kaldani did have a good kumikata. Just wasn't able to score with it.
Definitely, it's two styles that Kaldani's trying to close the space, he's trying to bring him in. And Baraikis is using that lapel grip on the inside to keep the space, keep the distance, and maybe get a reaction to drop in, but Kaldani just looks so strong when he's got the big grip on the top.
But the biggest advantage for Warwick is that he's able to move so much. So it's hard to get him under control. This is why probably Kaldani wasn't able to throw him yet. But I think Kaldani is getting closer to score actually. Again, going for that left side.
Oh.
Ooh. Not the best moment for Baraikis to come in with the Sutami. It could be good sometimes to use the strength and the direction of your opponent to come in with the technique, but I don't think this was the best timing.
Well, again, as we saw in the last contest with Kaldani, this second half of the contest, he's looking really strong.
Yeah, he does.
He looks quite tired, but he's looking pretty strong.
Yeah. Well, actually, if you go back quite some years, it was the Russians, the Georgians that were really strong in the first 2-3 minutes, and then they really went down. I think that completely changed. Now they can, hold on for a lot longer, and they keep really strong also in the last few minutes. And actually, Koldani starting to look stronger almost.
Oh, definitely. And then you look at that sort of IGF tour, and look at Lasser Shavdatiashvili, who just won
he's
the
one
World
of the
Championships.
yeah.
And he wins a lot of his contests in golden score. His engine just keeps going and going and going.
Well, he actually is one of the people that trains the hardest I've ever seen, so he must be in really good shape.
So 1 minute 20 left in this contest.
Well, that was really nice, and again, completely against the balance of this competition, of this contest. It was Koldani that was completely controlling. It looked like, and Barakis now is trying to steal a win here with a really beautiful Senage.
You think he got good movement there. He moved away as he has always done in the contest so far, and he turned left and managed to get the score. Just switched the sides a little bit.
Well, this is what's judo about, you always get a chance, and it's a really good move from Barakis. He's leading now with 1 minute 14 seconds left on the clock. I'm only wondering, I hope he doesn't change his tactics.
Yeah.
Well, that could happen, If he changes tactics, I think it can be really dangerous for him. But what he needs to do is keep doing what he did the last minute and 14 seconds, or last few minutes of this contest.
I think it's being careful. I don't know if I'd attempt too many of the sacrifice techniques. You can't afford to get another 2 Shidos, so you don't want to put yourself in a position where you could get them.
Well, he actually looks quite defensive here. So I think, it's only 52 seconds left on the clock, but this contest is not over yet. And we know what happened last contest when Koldani was facing one Shido behind.
And they gave it, I think they gave the second Shido there. And
so
52 seconds feels like a long time when you've got 2 Shidos.
That's so long. Especially if you already had a really tough contest like this one. That can be really killing this last 52 seconds.
And the lats attempt again.
Oh, nice.
I don't think it was tight enough around the neck and around the arm. But he's definitely put the pressure on.
Yeah, I think Barakis is just doing really smart with all the time moving. That's why the technique was also not so strong or not tight enough. Yeah, but let's see if Koldani can still do something. Straight away, Koldani is looking for some entrance. But you can see Barakis keeps moving. Ooh, that was so close. Nice tap on the foot.
You can see that left hand coming up again, so strong on the top.
The problem for Barakis is that he really needs to stay attacking. He needs to stay active. He cannot just get completely defensive.
And it's going to be close. I think if he doesn't get an attack in this exchange here, then he's definitely in the danger of getting that third Shido and losing the contest.
Oh, wow! That's for sure, that's a score.
He's signaling for the Nippon.
The only thing I really don't like if the athletes themselves are asking for a Nippon, let the referee decide it, It's never gonna help if you're putting up your hand.
If anything, sometimes it can deter the referee from giving the score.
Yeah.
But it was a great reaction there for the lats, and I think they are gonna give it the Ippon.
It's gonna be the Ippon. Wow, that's amazing. 15 seconds before the end, Koldani manages to score an Ippon.
And that's two contests in a row that we've seen that composure from him. We're going to score down, sticking with the game plan.
Just doesn't give up.
Getting it back, so we will see him in the final later.
Second final for him this year. So that's really amazing in his new weight category. So
He's hitting some good form going
Yeah.
into Paralympic selection.
and I think Shelia already lost one of his contests. So I'm really curious what Georgia will do. I will try to speak to the coaches. But if Kodani wins this competition as well, I think he will be the clear favorite. Yeah.
2 goals in 1 year.
Also in the most important year, you know.
Yeah. So we're moving on to Mat 2 is the semi-finals of the 52 kilos. We've got Carla Cardoso in Brazil in white and Basi Safarova in blue. On Mat 1 we've currently got the 60 kilo semi-final happening. If you want to go tune in there. And on Mat 3 we've got the 66 kilo repêchage. So it's going to be a good contest. I think both athletes look pretty strong so far. Cardoso taking a big strong left grip. Safarova taking right. Especially in a right v left fight, it's all about the control of the sleeve hand. Can you bring that sleeve to you and sort of control the body posture of the opponent? Drop CO attempt there by Cardoso. Wasn't too strong. So again, if anyone new is just tuning in, for visually impaired judo, they do start on the grip, and the referee in the middle will make sure that the grip is 50-50 before the exchange starts. Oh, nice counter there by Safarova. Pulling Cardoso back from the Sinagi attempt, and she's into the hold down. Only needs 10 seconds. She's already got the Wazari. And there we go, Safarova into the final. I think Cardoso just rushed the Sinagi attempt there. Probably didn't need to drop in, but she suffered the consequences. Coming up next on Mat 2, we have the second semi-final. 52 kilos from Uzbekistan, Semovic Saleva. And then in blue, Ramona Brusig from Germany. Now, Brusig looked really good earlier on with her knee waza. So we'll see if we can, if she can get Saleva onto the ground and work on some of the arm locks that she was trying earlier. Again on some other mats, on Mat 1 just now, we've got semi-final for the 60 kilos. Zura Biani from Georgia versus Lorenzo Galvolan. If you want to check that out, that's on Mat 1. And on Mat 3 we've got some under 66 kilo repêchage contests happening. I think this fight's going to be interesting. Both have got a lot of experience. Already Salveva coming over the top with the left hand, trying to pull her in, get some movement. Onto the choke. And it's a tap. Good win by Salveva there. Was very quick on the choke, pressure on the back, on the head, and just circled round to get the score. And she will be in the final. Yes, so the final 52 is going to end up being Safarova from Azerbaijan, Uzbek, Salveva. Okay, we've got a great 73 kilo fight coming up here in the repêchage. This could have easily been one of the medal fights for today. So we've got Termazan Dowlat in white from Kazakhstan and Rufat Mamedov from Ukraine in blue. Dowlat's looked strong all day, especially on the grips. I've seen if Mamedov can pick it up a little bit. He struggled in his last contest after the loss earlier in the day. See if he's regained mentally a little bit, and if he can push on and hopefully get to a medal fight. Mamedov came out strong there. Had him on the edge, good use of the Ashiwaza. But Dowlat put in a little Sodi there, sort of reset the exchange. A little bit slow there with the Marathi. There wasn't really much of a setup, but.
So did I miss out on much?
Not too
Probably.
much. Good 52 kilo semi-final there, Saleva.
Yep.
Nice choke,
Yep.
choke on Brusig.
Oh, that's nice.
And then so far it's been a pretty even contest here between the Kazakhstan and Ukraine.
Yeah, we were interested in this contest, right?
Mamedov looking really strong in the grip here. Just controlling that sleeve hand with his right.
Yeah, and is Dowlat looking again? He's looking quite relaxed, right? Maybe that's just his look. So of course he is concentrated and sharp, but he always looks like he's just doing some judo, doing a randori.
Nothing really phases him.
No,
Poker face on at all times.
really. Doesn't look too bothered. So it's looking quite loose, this kumikata, and they need to both watch out actually. So VI Judo is really about the two hands on the grip.
Yep, both aren't afraid to mix up and change the grips, rip off and start again. Nice Uchimata attempt turning into the Ouchi there by Mamedov. Could see a Pacific coming here for Dowlat. Oh, good attempt there. Also, Sianagi. Sort of combination there.
So this is the last repêchage here on this mat for the 73 kilograms. So really these two men have to decide who's going to fight for the bronze medal match. And it's been a really tough lower half, but also the upper half has been really strong actually.
You see Mamedov, it looks like he's regained composure from earlier in the day. He's a lot better in this fight than he did in the previous fight. Got kicked in the knee there though.
Yeah, I think in the other semi-final it's Bachuki Shelia who lost out there of Georgia, so that will be their next opponent. So it's really a tough day for these athletes. Another Sianagi just didn't have the space, and Mamedov was controlling way too much with his arms. So Dowlat needs to move around a bit more and trying to find some space for that Sianagi. Oh, that was such a nice movement. He just didn't have the grip, right?
Well, we've not seen him try that all day, to be fair. So
yeah.
he's bringing out a few tricks that it's not really showing much today. A bit loose in the grips. Could have drove a bit more secondary movement, but
Like that actually was the perfect timing for Mamedov to come in with that technique. That was this time the timing was less good, but still it was quite dangerous. Just needs to really get that grip a lot more tight.
well, that's two good attacks from Mamedov now, and I think Dowlett really needs to get a good attack in here, or you could get a second sheeter.
Yeah, that's true. Another attempt. This time now that Dowlett really clearly was knowing what was coming.
I think he's just forcing the lats now.
Yeah. Well, it is working. So Dowlett on 2 Shidos now.
Oh, good Sodi attempt there.
And now he's working on the Shimewaza. Not sure if it's under the chin. Apparently,
Transitioned
stopped
into
it.
the Judo.
Yeah, nice movement.
Just tying off the arm into the hold down. Really good knee waza here by Mamedov.
Yeah, and now he's trying to work on the arm again.
Oh, and he's got it.
He does have such good judo, Mamedov. He just making some mistakes sometimes, and yeah, seemed to be bothered a bit by some other aspects than really clear just the technical part. He's really good.
Definitely, that knee waza exchange, it flowed from the choke to the hold down to the arm lock really well. So
really, really well done.
I think that'll be a good bronze medal fight, that him versus the Georgian.
Yeah, that's going to be really good. And he must be still be a little bit disappointed. You know, he was what we talked about before, 1 second away from a win against the Georgian, and now he had to beat some really good opponents, but he managed. So we will see him later today for the bronze. Yeah, I think we only have a few more contests coming up. Some 52 repêchage contests and maybe some 57. Not even sure.
I think so. We've got some fights coming up. Some 6 kilos on mat 1. There's one fight happening just now in mat 3, and that'll be closed off. I think we've got 2 contests here in mat 2, and then could be us done for the first part of today.
Yeah. Yeah, we have quite a big break today, but the final block will take place at 2:30 later on today. So all the athletes will have some time to rest and get ready for the final block. So Gagne already faced a loss in the first contest, really disappointing for her, but let's see if she can come back from that. Against Cynthia Paige Simon of United States of America. And we can see Gagne in white judo-gi and Simon in blue.
Canes came out strong with her gripping.
Yeah.
On the belt.
Yeah, that's a nice, that was no trouble for Gagne winning here.
Just came out dominated there, threw the left hand over.
Yeah.
Onto the belt and then in for it was like a sumigaeshi foot sweep sort of combination for the score.
Yeah, I think she felt like she was a lot stronger. It was not the quickest technique, just really controlled, and didn't need more than that. Only 14 seconds on the clock, so quick win. And we have one more contest coming up. So mat 3 already finished. Mat 1 we still have 2 contests coming up, and we are focusing on the last contest here on mat number 2. So let's see when the athletes now are coming onto the mat almost. And it's featuring Natalia Nikolajczyk of Ukraine. She will be wearing the white judo-gi. And she will be facing Rocchio Ledes Madure of Argentina in blue judo-gi. I think if I looked at the competition today, Nikolajczyk will be the favorite here for me. She looked so strong here. but for sure Ledesma will have to say something about that.
Definitely, they're both quite similar ranking in the world.
Yeah.
Ledesma's 14th, Nikolic and 21 in the world, so not too much separating the two.
So we both have the red dot on the sleeve, which means they're B1 category athletes. And yeah,
Almost
Leden-
got countered there.
Yeah. Ooh, and now the strangle, the Shimewas, it looks like it's on. So let's see if Nikolajczyk can get a score out of that.
We've seen this choke used a lot today, especially after a
Oh, that's it.
attack.
Yeah. So yeah, unfortunately Ledesma was out there a little bit. The strangle was really on. And it's Nikolajczyk that looks really sharp. We'll see her back later today in the final block. I'm not sure if we can switch to mat number 1 to see the last two contests there. So we will check if we can still do that. Because there's quite a good contest going on over there. And it's between Diego Marquez of Brazil in white judogi and David Gomez of Argentina. So Marquez actually really impressed me during the Grand Prix in Baku. We had such great judo, and yeah, he is here in the repêchage, but still gets a chance to fight for the bronze later today if he wins this contest. Just not sure if we have the mat on the live stream now, but it's Marquez just to give you an update.